We have another
Yeah,
guest.
yeah, she has no personal space. She's okay, but
So are
possible
you
harm.
ever actually really in control though?
No, absolutely not. The animals are
I
always
was-
in control. Can you get your butt out of my face, please?
All right.
Oh, there she is.
There. Yep. She just woke up. So
Oh,
look
she's
at all
just
these
tired.
puppies. So many
And now
puppies.
mine wants to play.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the Focus Stack podcast. So, real quick, I'm going to run through the sort of YouTube stuff. So, if you're interested in subscribing, the podcast is on YouTube, but it's also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts now. And also, if you'd like to follow on Instagram, we do have an Instagram where I'm posting some clips and just kind of showcasing some highlights from some of the episodes and giving any sort of updates that may come up. Also, if you're a photographer and you want to be a guest, I'm always looking for guests for the show. If you want to come on, talk about your portfolio and share some great stories and advice for up and coming photographers, we'd love to have you on. Just fill out the form in the link tree, and we'll get in touch and schedule a show. And with that all out of the way, I'm really excited to talk to you, you guys today with our guest, Jessica Shaw. Photography is one of those things where the paths are as varied as there are interests in the world. And Jess is a pet photographer, and pets are one of those things that people invest in, sometimes more so than their kids. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and welcome Jessica Shaw to the show. Hey, Jessica, how you doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good. How's things in Florida?
Hot, but now it's cold, and then tomorrow it'll be hot again. So,
It's cold. But when you say
yeah, well,
cold, though,
cold. Okay, let me preface. It's been in the 60s today as a high,
okay.
so I feel like that's chilly for here.
Yeah, no, I remember from living there, but
Chilly,
yeah,
chilly for March, I guess I
yeah.
should say.
Well, it's been in the 30s here in Colorado, so
Yeah, no, thank you.
yeah,
We had that for our whole week in February at some point, so
yeah, I
I'm
heard
good.
that.
I got my fill.
Yeah, yeah, just like that week here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Just it's random. It's okay.
But Jess, you are a pet photographer,
I am.
and yeah, I was wondering if you could talk to me about why pets. Why is it that you chose to photograph our animal companions?
Pets. Wow. So, it was a journey. I don't really know why it turned into pets other than my dog. I like photographing my own dog. I think that's how a lot of people start with kids. They like photographing their own family. But I went through a lot of different genres. And then I found, oh, this is the one I actually enjoy. So it didn't feel like work. So I guess that's how I ended up there.
Well, I think that's important, and it doesn't feel like work, and you just
Yeah,
enjoy what you're doing, and you get to
exactly.
pet a lot of puppies.
I get to pet a lot of puppies. They don't typically cry during photo shoots. If they make funny faces, their owners still love the photos. So I think that's why that over kids usually.
So just so you know, I did bring my dog to this podcast, but she is totally out on the
She's
floor.
napping.
I was hoping that she would make an appearance, and she still might.
She still
But
might.
she still
We'll hold
might,
out hope.
but she is totally out on the floor over here. So
That's
if
funny.
Willow shows
Well,
up,
yeah, I
we'll
mean,
say we can
mine's
say hi.
here. She's just getting belly rubs right now, so she'll eventually probably just walk past because she
Oh,
has no
nice.
personal space. So,
I understand.
yeah, yours is a
All
little
right.
bit bigger than mine, but that's okay. Mine still
Yeah.
doesn't, she still thinks she's a lap dog.
Oh, yeah. Willow will claw. She's 100 pounds and she climbs up into my lap to
Yeah,
take naps. So,
I
yeah.
love it.
All right. Well, I was thinking maybe we just kind of jump over to your website. What do you think? Start over there?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. Let me add this to the show. There we go. So, talk to me a little bit about your practice. Like, what's it like being a pet photographer? Like, how do you go about looking for clients, and what is it like when you're on a shoot?
So as far as looking for clients, I have finally, I think, gotten to the point where they find me. It's usually Google, which is great. So Google reviews are always my best friend. Um, and a lot of it actually comes from people buying them as gifts for people. Well, obviously we just had like Christmas and everything, so that was a big one for me. And then I had my first Valentine's Day gift for someone that they bought it for their partner for Valentine's Day. So I get a lot of that. And then the second biggest thing is the keepsake. We talked about it at one point. The keepsake photo shoots are kind of end of life photo shoots, or just for like an older dog or someone, or one that's sick, or pet. Um, so that's probably the other biggest one, because people are looking for, oh, how do I capture these moments before my animal's not here?
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest part about having a pet that you love is that, when they get to that age and you know it's coming,
Hmm.
and,
Yeah, you can feel it.
so
You know it.
yeah,
They give
yeah,
you the signs.
yeah,
um, yeah, I think it's kind of my favorite shoots in a really sad way. Um,
mm,
they're the most rewarding, I guess I should say. They're not exciting. They're not something that I really want to do necessarily, but they're probably the ones that I get the most out of. Um,
yeah,
I think the owners really get the most out of them too, because they're really being intentional with it. It's not like oh, let's just have like a photo shoot. It's, oh, this might be our last photos with this pet. So it's like it can
yeah,
be sad, but I try to make it more about like kind of, okay, well, what's your favorite thing that they do now? Like even as they're older, what is the personality trait that you see the most that you want to see in the photos? And so then they kind of get into it a little bit more. And of course, it's still at the end of the day, it's still kind of sad, but
yeah, but it's super meaningful, so,
yeah.
um my mom has more pictures of a dog that we had when I was a kid. Like, they're like,
Hmm.
16 by 20s and 11 by 14s all over the house of this dog that, I mean, she's probably been gone for maybe 15 years or so, but I mean, those photos are still like they're everywhere all over the house. And I
Yeah.
mean, even in my house, we have photos of our pets that have passed on. So I totally get it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So, your style, on your website, you say lifestyle photography for pets and their humans. Can you talk to me about how you kind of came to that? That's the full
Um,
slogan, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the whole slogan.
Yeah.
That was a late night trying to figure out what exactly I'm doing. So I think it kind of came down to, I don't have a studio. I prefer to do it more on location. Um, Financially, also that helps. But I
Mhm.
like to go into people's homes too, because it makes it sometimes a little bit more accessible for people, especially for when it's not a dog, when it's a cat or some other kind of animal. Like I've had like horses and stuff like that. Like to
Mhm.
go to them is a little bit easier. And also some dogs are more reactive to other, oh, here's one. Um, some
Mhm.
dogs are more reactive to other dogs and people, and so sometimes it's just easier to meet them where they are. So it's kind of more of that lifestyle photography. And for me, the pets are the shining part of it, and then their family comes in.
Mhm.
So that's where that kind of comes from.
And I can see you often bring the people in with the pets. It's not just like you're really trying to capture what it was like to have this animal as part of the family.
Right, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh,
Uh,
nice. We have another
yeah,
guest.
yeah, she has no personal space. She's okay, but she'll make her way through and then eventually leave, maybe? I'm not really sure. Um,
Perfect.
I'm glad she doesn't have a tail that's really long, because it would be everywhere. But
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, okay, okay. I don't know where she's going, so it's okay.
Okay. No worries. All right. So I was thinking we jump into the gallery here, and I was wondering if you wanted to share any stories from any of your shoots or talk to us about the creation of some of the images here.
Oh, um, Yeah, I mean, if you kind of scroll down a little bit, I think there's one. Oh, yeah. So this one to the left where the dog's kind of licking her face,
Oh,
that
sure.
was definitely that was a keepsake shoot. So
Oh, hold on,
it'll
it's taking
eventually
a
pop up.
second. There it is.
There it is. So that was a keepsake shoot. This dog had some kind of bone cancer, osteo something something. I can never keep track of all of them. Um, I try not to because I don't want to really think about it. But that dog had lost its leg to it at one point, and then it kind of came back a year later. So we did a photo shoot a week before they had to say goodbye to him, and it was in their backyard, and it was so calm and sweet, and her husband did not do well. He made it through about 3 or 4 photos, and he's like, "Okay, I'm done."
Oh no.
Um,
Yeah.
just he was the one that was the most emotional, I think, which is kind of interesting to see, like, which person had the dog as, like, their dog. Um, but it was, like I said, probably one of my most rewarding ones because she sent me a message a week after the shoot and was like, "This was the best thing we've ever done. Thank you so much." And it's like that kind of feeling like I actually helped them is really nice.
Yeah.
Because I think at one point when I was younger, I looked into like psychology and I was like, oh, I want to help people. So I feel like this is kind of this melding of that with I wanted to be a vet, but I found out you have to put dogs to sleep and I
Mm,
didn't want to have to do that. So
yeah.
this is kind of my version, I guess, that kind of brought me to there.
Okay.
Um, Without me knowing it, it kind of just happened in the background.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's a really touching moment. I mean, the smile on her face,
yeah, it's
is
like it doesn't feel sad. I guess that's what I mean by like the keepsake
yeah.
sessions are sad, but it doesn't have to feel like I think people are afraid they're just gonna look sad in the photos, but you're just sharing this moment with your animal that is just like any other day. It's just being captured.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a really intimate moment for me because somebody's trusting you to kind of capture their last moments with someone that they really care about. Um,
Mhm.
and again, I think that comes from I always loved photojournalism, so I guess this is my version. um,
Mhm.
it was just it's just really it is touching and feels like kind of like an honor to be there during that time.
Sure.
Because they're like trusting you to be there. It's kind of one of their most vulnerable moments. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Do you want me to back out and we can go
yeah.
to another one here? I just realized I forgot to put your website up right when we
Oh,
started
that's
looking at
okay.
your works, but it's right there, jessicashawphotography.com. So if people are watching this and they want to check out Jess's work or also book you for a shoot if you're in the Tampa Bay, Florida area, I assume you're taking bookings.
Oh yeah. Always, always
All
happy to
right.
meet a new animal. Um, yeah, a lot of these other like I mean, you have the cat there, he's cute.
Oh, yeah.
But the cat was just that was new for me. This is a kitten, so I
Hmm.
think they were like 3.5, 4 months old. So that's a whole different ball game when it comes to animals because they are a lot harder to get attention from than a dog. A
Hmm.
dog wants your attention. A cat is usually more aloof.
Hmm.
So I found with both of them, treats, toys, something sparkly, something that makes a
Hmm.
noise. It pretty much does it for both of them. So I've learned to keep like a little cat toy in my bag of tricks
Oh,
with the
yeah.
little feather on the end. So then you just put it right above the camera, and this is what they look like.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Oh,
but
talk to me about the bag of things, like the bag of tricks.
so there's always different types of treats. So I have a questionnaire I send out to everyone asking if their animal has any allergies or anything like that. And if they do, I have different types of treats for that, or they can bring their own. But yeah, the bag usually has squeakers. So my dog doesn't like, well, she loves squeaky toys, but she takes it out right away and kind of babies it and whines at it. I let her do that about 5 minutes before I take it away.
Mm,
And then I use those squeakers for the shoots. And they all have different pitches and
mhm,
different sounds that they make. So just like anything, they get bored of the same sound and they don't react to it. So you have to pull out
mm.
a different one. So I have that. I have, like I said, the cat toy, and then just different types of treats. So there's a lot of seems like there's a lot of chicken allergy for
Hmm,
dogs that I've run into. So I have like just pure beef or just pure chicken if they have a beef allergy, or some kind of fish. Hello. It's just some
hmm,
kind of fish treat or something. And then I just have the lenses that I use. I mean, they're not always in that bag, but the ones
mhm,
that I typically use during the shoot, I keep in that same bag. So it's just like
mm,
all with me. And it's in the bag is actually like a lunch bag kind of thing. It's got like an insulated inside,
mm,
because I've had several dogs pee on the bag, so I don't want them
mm.
to pee on my equipment. So
Yeah,
I learned that pretty quickly.
the hard way.
Um, Not the hard way. I actually had this bag, so I was like, it was unintentional at first, and now any bag that I've gotten to replace it, I've always gotten the insulated ones that have a little bit more protection.
Oh.
So
So you mentioned the lenses that you're using. Is there any, like, go-tos for pet photography for you?
Um, for me, I think I've gotten into like a standard, like I do a 35 millimeter and a 135, just prime lenses I've been sticking to.
Mm,
Not for any reason other than like comfort.
mhm,
And I like the way that they turn out. They're both Sigma lenses, so they are really sturdy.
mhm.
um, and I just like their depth of field that they can provide when I can actually get the dogs to cooperate.
Sure.
Can you
I mean,
but the
this image of
135
the
oh,
is
go
that
ahead.
what this was this the 135?
Um, I think it's I think it is the 135 because I think I took it from pretty far away and their, owner was holding something above them.
Oh, okay. I mean, I
Yeah.
really like the shallow depth of field on that. You really locked the cat's eyes in there.
Mhm. And I like the 135 for certain things too of the, I've had a few dogs that weren't, like, super friendly. They were
Okay.
fine. They ended up being fine with me, and I could get close to them, but they weren't sure if they were gonna be okay, so we started out far away so they could see the camera and kind of get used to that. That's kind of my process at the beginning too, is let's not just go straight into shooting, like, let's walk around, let them get to know me, smell me, like, see the camera, because I can imagine that that's kind of scary if you've never
Mhm,
seen it before, because 'cause they're pretty reflective and all that.
mhm,
But the 135 is great for when I wanna be further away, and it gives that great depth of field too.
mhm.
So
Um, have you run into a situation where they just don't cooperate? Like, is it like,
yeah.
yeah?
Yeah. I mean, we eventually get something. That's what I always tell people, like, it may not be a ton of photos, but we'll get something out of it. It's kind of like when you photograph kids, right? They
Mhm.
cry and whatever, and they're like, "Oh, how did you get this photo of them smiling?" You're like, "Oh, actually, they were crying." And you just kind of captured it in a way that it looks like they're smiling. But I think the only time I've run into that, the owners have been like, "I'm not sure what you're gonna get, but we're gonna try." So they're
Okay.
pretty aware that they're not an easy subject, and I think they're usually pretty surprised about what we can get. Um,
Yeah.
as long as the owners are okay with being in the photos, holding the animal is really great.
Mhm.
Um, and like, I mean, I guess if we're talking specifically about cats too, it's following them to where they wanna be.
Yeah.
Like this cat was on its favorite little bed and it was like comfortable there, so I just followed the cat there. Started out further away, ended up switching lenses and getting closer and was able to get better images of him. And again, it's that kind of just letting them kind of feel like they're in control when you're really actually
Mhm.
in control. So that's kind of my
So
philosophy
are
on
you
it.
ever actually really in control, though?
No, absolutely not. The animals are
I
always
was,
in control.
I know. I was gonna
Like
say,
this is what they do to us.
case in point.
Case in point, like I don't know what to do with her, so she's just gonna be right here. Just sit. Yeah, see?
Oh,
You're good.
oh,
Oh, thank you.
hey, you're on the show.
You're on the show. You're famous. She's not sure. She just wants a treat, I think. You just want a snack, don't you? Yeah.
I always want a snack, so I get
Yeah,
it.
same.
Uh,
Yep. I saw that
um,
on a meme or something that said like your dog is just a reflection of you, and it said something about like being anxious and wanting snacks. And I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, that might be my problem.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's back out here. There we go. Any others that you want to talk
I
about
mean,
here?
they're all great. They're all great stories, but I mean, there's the one on the left there with the couple. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at my own screen. The
Oh,
couple
yeah,
and the two
here.
dogs and the thing. Yeah. So
Okay.
that one was more of a that was a baby announcement. So we did a whole photo
Oh,
shoot for it was for Christmas, but also they were having a baby. But it's one that I haven't been able to post until recently because they hadn't told anyone. So I was the
yeah.
first one to know. So out of anybody that they knew, so they were really excited to talk about it. But yeah, they finally just posted the photos recently, so now I can have them up there.
Oh,
um,
nice.
they're
That's
one that their dogs are hilarious. I've worked with them a couple times and they're one that like say I'm whatever we get, we get. It's okay. I know they're
mhm.
crazy. And I'm like, I tell them every time they're really not the craziest dogs I've ever worked with. So it's fine. But everybody thinks
Mhm.
that their dog is the worst when they're like not cooperating.
That's funny.
But yeah, the one on the right likes to howl at everything and like wants the attention, and the one on the left is just like cool as a cucumber, wants nothing to do with anything. So
Oh,
it's interesting to work with them, but always fun.
they have no idea their life's about to change.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Or maybe
And
they
they're
do.
older. And maybe
Oh,
they
are they?
do. I mean, they're like 10 or so. Both of them are like 9, 10, 11 in that range. So they've been the babies for a really long time. Um, but yeah, it should be interesting.
I wonder if you'll
Hopefully,
get
I'll
to
see
come
him
back
again
and
next
yeah.
year
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. A repeat client with the baby and the
with a
dog.
baby now. I do have one of those. I don't know if I have any photos on the website of them, but um,
I see
they
there's
did just have a session. Well, then, yeah, I
yeah.
haven't photographed her baby, but that was a cute session at their house.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
remember when you did this one.
yeah, so that was at her house, and she was worried that the dog wasn't going to make it to meet the baby, but she
Oh.
did. So that
Oh.
was good. Yeah, she met the
Oh.
baby, and it was. I was happy for her because I know that was kind of important to her for
Yeah.
her to meet him. So, um,
Yeah, I
but yeah,
remember that.
super cute.
There's some really I was going through here. I think this is a really sweet photo right here.
Yeah, super
Um,
cute.
I mean, he just looks like a character. I was just kind of scrolling through your website earlier and
Oh yeah,
saw
he was
some,
something.
and of course this one here with the little bow
Yeah,
tie.
yeah, Buttercup looks like a buttercup,
Um,
right?
and so here you're kind of using the Florida landscape. Is this a dog beach or
Yeah,
where's this
well,
at?
so technically, no. Technically, we weren't allowed on the beach.
Oh, okay.
But this is at Cypress Point Park.
Okay.
So I mean, there is a beach there, and people bring their
Yeah,
dogs on there all the time, anyways. I
sure.
figured she's little, we're not doing a whole thing. Um, but yeah, I have similar photos at there's Picnic Island and Davis Island, both have
Hmm.
kind of that rocky
Yeah.
texture. Um, it's interesting because they actually tend to stay better when they're sitting on those rocks because they don't know where to go.
Right.
Because they feel a little bit trapped, so they are still. But I try not to have them sit there for too long. But
Yeah.
yeah,
They're
that one on
just
the right, that boxer, that's on Picnic Island. So
okay.
yeah,
I know I used to love going to the dog beaches in Florida, like,
Mhm.
Davis Island was a fun one. I always like to take my
Yeah.
dog Pepper too.
Yeah, I miss the dog beaches because I mean, I get to go there a lot because of photos, but this one
Mhm.
doesn't do well with other dogs that
Oh,
she doesn't
okay.
know, so we're just stuck with, not going to the beach, even though she
Oh,
loved it when we went. She loves going in the water, but, she had cancer, so I don't know if that affected her being weird around other dogs. I think because I had to take her
oh,
out of socialization for a while, because she couldn't go to dog parks because she didn't have a
mhm.
good immune system, and even now, it's not a great immune system, but
Yeah.
okay. Can you get your butt out of my face, please? She's
I
something.
is this the same boxer from
Yeah,
the
same
yeah,
boxer. It's at that picnic island. Yeah, he loved the water. So we were throwing
yeah.
the ball for him and stuff, so we got some fun action shots out of it.
Oh, nice.
This is one of those that made me get the 135,
Mm,
because I didn't have a longer lens, so I was having to, I was in the water probably for most of them. I was just, rolled up my pants and just got in the water with them because I
mhm.
couldn't get close enough to get, a great shot, but, um, that was one of my favorites from that, and I think it was one of hers too, the owner,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it's just a nice, like, shot of him kind of flying through the air and all the water's frozen around him and stuff.
yeah, that's fun.
There's another cat. A
Yeah,
couple more
very very
cats,
seldom
couple
is a
more cats.
cat, We get a couple more cats, but
Yeah.
that was my
Oh, look at
cat
this
era, I
guy.
guess.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
oh, Willow's awake. I wonder if she'll
Mila's
join
awake.
the Hey, Willow, come here. You wanna say hi? Come here, come here. So, Lily's been in, so let's get Willow in
Let's
here.
get Willow.
Come on up. Come on up. Come on. All right.
Oh, there she is.
There. Yep. She just woke up. So
Oh,
look
she's
at all
just
these
tired.
puppies.
I
So
know,
many
and now
puppies.
mine wants to play.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm
Aw.
talking about puppies.
Talking about puppies. It's like they know. They're like, "You're talking about
Yeah.
another dog? Hello, you've got me right
I
here."
know. And oh geez, she's just shoving her head into my face.
Oh, she's so sweet though.
Yeah, she's a very sweet girl. All right.
See?
Okay. Do you want to? You can't climb on my lap right now.
Not right now.
Not in here. Not in here.
There's not enough room.
There's just not enough room.
She's
Oh,
just
is
gonna
she?
break the chair with her
Uh,
weight.
so yeah, I was looking. She's grabbing my arm.
See, now you know
Like,
how
keep
hard it
petting
is to
me.
work
Keep
with a
petting.
dog.
All right, here, let's go. Let's go. Thanks for stopping by. All right. So this cat right here, he looks kind of like is he an older cat?
Yeah, so this cat, when I took that photo, her name is Outdoor. It's actually my godmother's cat.
Oh, okay.
So she was, I think, 21 at the time of this.
21.
Yeah, like 2021, somewhere around there. She passed like probably a year or so after this.
Okay.
But yeah, she's a character. I've known her most of her life that she was with
Mm.
them anyways. But she was an outdoor cat that would just sneak into their garage because they left their garage like kind of open a little bit.
Mhm.
And then they would just feed her, and then they moved after like 7 years of feeding this cat, and they're like, "Well, you're just gonna come with us, I guess." And so they took her with them, and they
Oh,
named her Outdoor.
that's
So,
funny.
yeah, because she was just outdoor kitty, and then
Yeah.
she just became outdoor, and then she lived inside at the new house, and then moved with them every time after that. But
So so my mom hates cats. Um, but
yeah.
but there's all these cats that live outside because she just can't help but feed them. So she
Mhm.
has like a whole like pack of outdoor cats that just and then she talks about how much she doesn't like cats, but then like goes out
Oh,
there and feeds them and like
well, they're gonna keep coming.
they live there. They're like, this is our home and you're our owner.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I don't like you. Here's some more food.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny. I had a couple of outdoor cats that, when I first moved into this place, they showed up and I named them myself, even though they weren't mine. But they would get food for me and some of my neighbors. So I wasn't like, they weren't completely dependent on me. And then I went out of town for a week and then they kind of stopped coming around for a while because I guess they didn't trust that I would put food out. But it's Florida, so there's ants everywhere. So I don't just
Hmm.
leave food for them. I wait till I see them and put them out. But yeah, I haven't seen them in a while, and it's kind of sad, but I'm
Mm.
hoping they're doing well. One of them was pregnant, and then I noticed I was going to try to capture her to take her to Humane Society to get her clipped and everything. But
Yeah.
then the next time I saw her, she had already had her babies, and she had the little notch in her ear. So I was like, okay, someone took care of her.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've seen her a few times since then, and she's seems to be doing better. Yep, that's mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we talk about this one next?
Yeah. This is baby Lily. She was 12 weeks old, and I did a whole photo shoot on this chair, and then now I'm stuck every year doing one. It was the plan to do it every year. I didn't realize that the location I was doing it at isn't in March. It's not the best place to go because there is a lot of alligators, like, starting to, like, come back out.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They're kind of like I think from what I understand, alligators are kind of in mating season all the time.
Mm.
It just depends on temperature, so, like, if it gets
Hmm.
cooler and hotter, like, they're gonna just do it based on temperature. It's not based on time of year, especially in
Hmm.
Florida, because who knows what the temperatures are going to be.
Hmm.
But yeah, you can hear them when we're taking the photos. I usually bring someone with me because I need someone to watch for me because I like to take her off
The
leash.
hazards of working in Florida, right?
Yeah, the hazards
The
of working in
alligators.
Florida. So, like, I don't recommend that location for other people, but it's one that I take her to every year. And now we have 10 photos. I have one from 12 weeks and then one for every year, and she's 9 now. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of fun to watch her grow and change. And when she had the cancer, she had like lost a little bit of hair, um,
Hmm.
which isn't normal, but that's okay. I guess
Hmm.
dogs don't normally use lose their hair unless they're like a hair-based dog,
Oh,
like one that
like
needs to be groomed, like a doodle or some kind of
yeah.
thing. And so she did lose a little bit of hair towards the end, I think, because I think she was in remission and they just kept pumping her full of the stuff to make sure she was really cancer
Yeah.
free. But so you can see where she gets really skinny looking and then she poofs back out the next year.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but people are like, "Oh, is she okay? Like, has she lost weight?" I'm like, "She's been the same exact weight. She just lost hair." So she
Yeah.
just looks like a completely different dog when she's wet,
Yeah.
or when she's lost hair.
And how long has
Um,
she been cancer free?
5 years.
Oh,
So, yeah.
congratulations. That's great.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, 5 years is kind of the last, marker I have as far as statistics, because 5
Mm.
years is, 7% of dogs that had her cancer make it 5 years past.
Mm.
So she's in that 7%, which is really exciting.
Oh, that's
Um,
great.
yeah, so but now I don't have any statistics because after that, that's kind of I mean, her type of cancer was lymphoma, so she the normal age is 7 when they get it, and she got it at 3.5, so I think
Mm.
it's kind of like a dog gets, lymphoma at 7, they live 5 more years, they're probably in that range of when their natural death was gonna occur anyways,
Mhm.
so they kinda run out of statistics, and for her, she's only 9 now, she's only 2 years past when she would have normally gotten it, I guess. It's
Mhm.
kind of confusing. The oncology team loves us. I think they like any dog that is doing well. They just want to like
Mhm.
spend time with her because they're dealing with a lot every day.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, she's doing great. So
Oh, no, I'm really glad to hear that. So, that's
yeah. Now she'll stop licking herself. That's her biggest issue right now.
oh, no.
Yeah, she's being it's definitely springtime. She's getting the allergies and having to she just kinda, like, choose her own body. Um,
Uh-huh.
It's normal for her, but I think
Okay.
it's gotten worse. The allergies have gotten worse since the chemo treatment, but, like, she doesn't get her regular shots or anything anymore,
Mhm.
because they can damage her immune system more, so they
Mhm.
just have her kind of on a different plan.
Yeah.
Like, even rabies she doesn't get. She can get it if she needs to,
Yeah.
um, but another reason why I don't really take her to parks and stuff anymore, and so that's further
Yeah.
made her not be socialized with other dogs, but
Yeah.
I figure at this point, like, her health's more important than her playing with other dogs she doesn't know because she has
Sure.
dog friends she hangs out with, but
Oh, good. Okay.
yeah, okay.
Lily.
She has, my boyfriend's dog, and then my mom has 2 dogs that she hangs out with, so she gets to see them all the time.
Oh, that's good.
And the neighbor has a dog in the back that is always in the backyard that they run back and forth. I don't know that it's always friendly, but she has a great time. The
Oh,
other
nice.
dog I don't think really likes her. I think she wants to play with this dog because she feels like it's her friend now. But it's a privacy fence, and they just
Yeah.
run back and forth, so
Yeah.
she gets
Let's
to
smell
have
each
some
other.
kind of interaction. Yeah.
Sure.
Um, I have really thought about getting her a cat.
Oh, getting
Um,
her a cat.
yes, she loves cats. Like, she
Yeah.
loves kitties. She wants a kitty friend. Yes, you want kitties? Yes, I know. Um, she was friends with my mom's cat before he passed, and like he put up with her.
Mhm.
So now she doesn't get that interaction. So I'm like, I need to get my dog a kitten. Like, it's ridiculous, but
Get your dog a pet.
a
Or a
pet,
yeah.
exactly.
Or a
I mean,
sibling. A sibling.
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, she would definitely need a kitten or a cat that's like really okay with dogs, not just like, oh, they're
Yeah.
okay with dogs. Like, likes a high hyperactive dog because
Mhm.
she wants to lick them and just, like,
Mm.
love on them forever. Because I finally got her to learn gentle with a cat,
Mhm.
and she doesn't know what to do with a cat other than lick it, so she just licks
Mhm.
the cat's face until it's, like, soaking wet.
Yeah.
Um, but that would be a whole lifestyle change for us because I would have to make a whole room that would be just for the cat because I wouldn't feel right bringing the cat in and being like, you have to like now hide from a dog. Want it to
Yeah.
have its own space that it can go
Sure.
into to get away. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I
I
know
mean,
you
you have a
know this,
cat.
but yeah, I was gonna say we have a cat, and when we brought Willow into the house, we had to put up baby gates with little cat holes so
Yeah.
that she would have the ability to get away from her. And they
Yeah.
love each other. They really do like each other a lot. Willow will walk up to Nova, and and Nova will kind of like rub her face against it, kind of like Willow was doing to me. She kind of does that to
Yeah.
with the cat,
Okay.
but on occasion she starts getting a little stompy, and the cat's like,
Yeah.
"I'm out. I'm done.
I'm
No, no
done.
more."
Yep. Yep. That's what my mom's cat would do. Like, she would put up with Lily for the most part, and then after a while, okay. After a while, she'd be like, okay, no. And like no claws or anything, but just like bat her on the
Yeah.
nose, like, I'm done now, thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then walk
Um,
away.
bringing it back to photography, I was
Mhm.
wondering, like, if somebody wanted to get into pet photography specifically, like, what do you think, what are the types of things that they need to be, like, passionate about? Like, what do they need to what types of skills, what type of attitude? Just curious what your
Um,
advice would be.
yeah, that's a really good question. I think obviously you have to like animals. Like,
Mhm.
you have to be okay with getting dirty.
Mhm.
I'm on the ground a lot, getting on their level. Um, I think understanding kind of the psychology behind animals and kind of being able to read their cues is really important. Like, I can usually tell at the end, like towards an end of a shoot, even so, I usually say an hour is good. I'm like,
Mhm.
animals aren't going to want to do it past an hour. Most of them won't do it past 30 minutes.
Mhm.
But you can usually tell about the 30-45 minute mark where they're like done.
Mhm.
And you have to be able to, I know a lot of photographers are like, no, just one more shot, just one more shot, just one more shot. And like, I get like that too, because I feel like I could photograph the dogs all day long.
Mhm.
But I think you have to be able to know, okay, they're done. and communicate that with the owner and let them know, like, hey, how do you think? Like, do you think they're done? And usually they're like, yeah, I think they're done, and give them
Mhm.
kind of the permission to end the shoot because I think they feel obligated to stay the whole hour.
Mhm.
Um, I think, um, yeah, I think it's just you have to really love it, because
Mhm.
they can be annoying. They're great, but they can be annoying and they can be frustrating if they're not doing exactly what you want them to do.
Mhm.
Um, but sometimes it's the best photos to me. It's like when they're doing something silly, or like that one that you have there on the left where they're just like shaking in the water.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like kind of drying himself off. Like I just think that's just like a fun
Yeah.
um it's just a fun moment that, like, if you're trying to pose them every 2 seconds, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, you
Um
can't post that.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think if you love it, you love it, and if you enjoy it, then you're gonna get good photos because the dogs and other animals, especially I feel like horses, know when you're
Yeah.
not enjoying it or when you're scared
Where did
or when
I
you're
saw a horse on here.
there was a horse somewhere. I don't
I
know if
think
it's
it
towards
was
the bottom.
I think it might yeah,
Uh,
right there,
yeah,
okay.
there is one. Yeah. So, like, they have to feel like you're comfortable. I feel like I've noticed that with horses that they can really tell. Like dogs and cats can tell when you're not comfortable. Um,
Mhm.
but if you are going to get into something like a livestock or like bigger animals, you have to make sure you're comfortable with that, because they
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
And I feel like something with the horses specifically is a lot of people, especially like dressage horses and stuff like that, if it's not just like a family horse, which that's kind of more my area is like family, not necessarily
Mhm.
like a show horse.
Mhm.
Um, but they like their ears forward, and the way to get
Mhm.
their ears forward is to make noise.
Mhm.
But again, you have to know how much noise is too much noise. Because some you can do like a little umbrella and like pop the umbrella and they like just pop forward.
Mm.
Some will get really scared of the
Mhm.
umbrella. So,
Mm.
I just did a shoot last 2 weeks ago with a horse, and well, 3 horses actually, and it was a family friend, so it was a little bit easier 'cause you could be a little bit more nuanced with it and be like, "Put
Mhm.
that one away." Um,
Mhm.
but you have to try to they kind of look like donkeys if you don't if their ears are
Mm.
back, they kinda
Oh,
look
yeah.
silly.
Okay.
I think they look adorable, but their owners think they look like a donkey.
Okay.
So, that's something I've kinda just learned in the process of doing it, so I guess
Mm.
that's the biggest thing is just do it, learn from other people, like, if you're wanting to get into pet photography, find a friend that has a pet and, like, just take pictures of 'em. Um,
Mhm.
I think one of the biggest learning curves for me was actually your dogs, like
Yeah.
Lucy when she was deaf and basically blind, and how do you get
Mhm.
that dog's attention
Yeah.
when they can't pay attention? They can't hear you, they can't really see you. How do you get that dog to look? And for her, I feel like it was some of it was treats to get the
Mhm.
smell, and some of it
Mhm.
was either just kind of moving her head and then click
Mhm.
really
Yeah, yeah.
quickly. But she
Mhm.
could kind of see,
Yeah.
but it was just the hearing. You couldn't snap at her or do a squeaky
Yeah.
toy or do
Nothing.
something that are my normal go-tos.
Mhm.
So it was usually a treat or it was just like getting her attention like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
That was really early on when you were just getting started with the pets.
yeah, it was kind
Yeah.
of like towards the beginning of like when I think like I had kind of switched over to just pets as like my main focus.
Mhm.
Um, but she's worse than a kid, I swear.
Yeah.
But, I had just kind of turned over to just pets because I was doing, like, real estate and food and all the things and, like, trying to make it all work, and then realizing, "Oh, like, I might be, like, decent or good or whatever at these other forms of photography, but this is the one I enjoy the most." So
Yeah.
that's when that kinda switch happened. It was probably that year that I kinda switched over,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, because
and,
I know
like,
you
truly dove into it.
yeah, I know you were doing, like, the real estate and the food stuff and
Mhm, and
everything, and
I still do
yeah.
some of that stuff, but I tell everybody, like, that's the financial thing to make me be able to do this.
Okay.
until
Yeah.
this can financially support me full time. I do
Yeah.
have those kind of other avenues, but I've even cut back on those. I mean, I had a couple
Mhm.
different companies I was working for each thing, and I've kind of niched it down into like one or two companies that I
Yeah.
work for. Also, it's a lot of work to keep up with
Yeah.
everybody else's scheduling,
Sure.
and it was. I felt like there was a point where my clients were getting put as like not a back burner, but like I wasn't having the dates available that I wanted because they were being
Mhm.
taken up by other things. So I finally had to kind of just say, no, weekends are only for my clients. And during the week, they take priority over everything else.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's a hard lesson I had to, I'm still working on that. You get an opportunity for a different kind of photo shoot on the weekend. And I'm like, no, you can't take it. Cause every time I've taken one, there's been an issue
Uh-huh.
unless it's a like pet photography, then everything goes smooth. So I'm like,
Okay.
I don't know if that's the universe just telling me like just leave this for your dog
Yeah.
people and your horse people and all the pets
Cats
because
and
yeah, like I'd rather spend if I'm gonna spend my weekend away from like loved ones and my dog and whatever, I want it to be with pets, not at somebody's house taking pictures of their house to sell.
yeah.
It's just it's fine. I enjoy that work to a point.
Mhm.
But it's not how I want to spend my off time, quote unquote.
Yeah. That makes
So
sense.
yeah.
Um, what would you say the weirdest pet you've ever photographed is?
Uh,
I'm
you
just
know,
curious.
um, I
And by weird,
haven't
I guess maybe like a different type of animal or maybe one that just
yeah.
had a strange personality.
So I've had a lot of strange personalities. I've had ones that couldn't walk, so there was that kind of, difficulty of it. But
Mhm.
the one that I haven't gotten to do that I almost got to was a bearded dragon. I was like, oh, I really want to do a bearded dragon photo shoot because I think that would be really fun to just have them like on your shoulder and like if they can
Mhm.
go outside. Like I think the one that was talking to me at one point had they would walk on a leash. So
Mhm.
I was like, I just love the idea of like this dinosaur basically just being out and taking photos with it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, that one at the top right is fun.
This
It's
one here,
funny. Yeah, it's like
that
that
was
Mexican hairless
crested.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, Chinese crested. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly their thing, but yeah. And it's like they're hairless, but they're not. They have
Right,
fun
right.
little hairdos.
Yeah, they've got a, like, full head of hair, even though it's all
Yeah.
over the rest of their body.
Yeah, it's like I think this one kinda just looks like a little rock star, like an '80s rock star,
Yeah, he's kinda
his
got
hair.
a Andy Warhol sort of thing going.
Yeah, that kinda, like, beveled.
Yeah.
That's
I
funny.
did wanna tell you, I think this is a really beautiful portrait. It's
Oh,
just really
thanks.
fun, like, you get a nice sense for the family and their personalities and
Oh,
these 2
yeah.
big fluffy white dogs.
That was cute. The little boy intimidated me more than any of the people
I
or dogs in
mean
that shoot. You see
he's
his
not messing
personality a little
around.
bit.
Yeah.
No. First thing he said to me when we got to the photo shoot, so this is for the one dog that was sick, and like the
Okay.
mom is like it's for dog like heart dog. So these are their three kids, obviously. And her son is like crawling all over the place, like typical little boy. And then like he comes up to me and he's just like, so you're taking photos of us? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, you better take good photos. And then he just walks away. And I'm like, oh, okay. Never have I been more intimidated in my life, and especially because he's doing stuff like this, and he was
Uh-huh.
pouting majority of the
Yeah.
time, trying to make them bad.
Oh.
And his little sister, the little one that's up in the air, was like she was okay. She was very young, so she was like a little bit whiny, but she was fine. He was pouting, and the older girl was being like on her best behavior, but she looks over and sees her brother pouting and getting all this attention for
Uh-huh.
because there's like stop doing that, stop doing that, stop doing that, and so she starts pouting. I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
no. And this is why, and then I look over at the dogs and they're both just sitting there majestically and beautiful, and I'm like, and this is why I like dogs.
Yeah.
This is that moment where I'm like, 3 kids, 2 dogs. No, I
Yeah,
don't think
that's
so. I mean,
oh,
obviously, it turned out really fun, and we got some, like, cute photos out of it, and there's some really
yeah.
great ones of the kids with the dogs and stuff, but, yeah, that was a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really great things that about this photo that I like, the kids' personality and stuff, but
Mhm.
also just like these little cute flowers in the foreground
Yeah.
and the like is that like beach grass or something like that? Just the
Yeah, it was,
yeah.
actually, it's again, it's Cypress Park.
Okay.
It's, like, not on the beach, it's, like, just in the park area, and
Okay.
this was kind of like a dune, but it's not, like, a
Okay.
protected dune. I will say that there
Uh-huh.
was no signs that said we couldn't
Yeah.
go on top of it,
Right,
but
right.
it was, like, at sunset, so it was, like, just a really, like, magical time to
Yeah.
be out
Well,
there, but
it is a really nice portrait, so congrats
oh,
on that.
thanks.
That looks good. All right. Well, with that, do you have any final thoughts you want to leave with the viewers? Any last bits of advice for up and coming pet photographers?
Um, I mean, just for photographers in general, I guess, like, the thing that I'm still working on, which is, just if you like your work, it's good. If the people that you're making the work for like your work, it's good.
Mhm.
I think you know this about me, but confidence is not my strong suit. So just being confident in your work, and if somebody has something to say about it, and take it with a grain of salt, and if if it's constructive, try to work it in, and if it doesn't match what you're trying to do, then just let it go. Um,
Mm.
I guess that's something I need to teach myself,
Yeah.
but that's something that I've been working on, so it's kind of front of mind for me for, new photographers that
Mhm.
might be just trying to get in and are
Mhm.
nervous about it.
Well, I've known you probably 15 years or so.
Yeah,
Does that seem right?
something like that. That seems
Yeah.
right, 'cause
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, around there.
2010,
10.
2011, something like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and, I've really seen you come into your own over that time, and, I've been seeing how you kind of have taken off since you got into shooting pets, so I
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I think
great
it's if you
advice.
love what you
Yeah.
do, right? That's what they say.
No,
But I
yeah,
think
no,
it's more than, like,
100%.
if you love what you do, it's what you love with what you do within that as well. Because, like, I was doing
Mhm,
photography and loved photography forever, but getting into the pets really made me feel more grounded in it,
mhm.
and just time experience makes you feel a little bit better too.
Sure, yeah. Well, great. Well, thank you for being guest number 6, and with
Yeah.
that, we'll go ahead and say goodbye for this episode, but, yeah, we'll see everyone on episode 7 in the future, so, thanks, Jessica.
Thanks.
If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. It helps us connect with more photography lovers just like you.